Hello and welcome to another interview. Today I talk with Jerome Marchiset from A.I.B Custom FX. So, Jerome, thanks for being here and doing this interview with me.
It's my pleasure.
Okay, and well, first of all, would you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Yes, so my name is Jerome. It's been established. I am the owner of AIB Custom FX, and I specialize in custom pedals for guitar or bass, and more especially in distortions and fuzzes. And it's been 10 years now that I do that. Actually,
Oh,
it's yeah, yeah. Actually, it's 10 years this month. So it's like,
what a coincidence!
yeah,
Awesome. So, 10 years, that's a long, long time. So,
yeah, yeah. It's long and it seems very short at the same time because it's like I'm just beginning. You know, it's a weird feeling because every time every new model, it's like a new one. So it's like, man, I'm just a beginner in the business. I have to prove myself.
yeah. Awesome. But let's talk about the actual beginning of AIB
Yeah.
Customs. How did you start?
Well, it's I would like to say that it's some kind of a romantic story, you know, because I was in love with effects and fuzzies and stuff like that. But it's really wasn't. It wasn't that like that at all. Uh, it was in the real beginning was in the early 2000s, and I was studying at the uni. And at the same time, I was a guitar technician for a band. And the guitarist used to have some kind of really cool effects, vintage ones, like a polychorus or polyphase from EHX from the 70s.
Mm.
And at some point, the pedal was non-functioning at all. And the only shop available was in my town. And thing is, they really try to scalp, literally to scalp my friend because they lied. They said, "Oh no, you know the pedal is completely fried. We can't do anything about it. It would cost like a fortune, fortune." And but if you want, we can keep the enclosure though, so you don't have to put it away yourself. And I was like, man, this guy is so lying. I just said, no, no. You know what? Just give me the pedal. Uh, I have some knowledge in electronics, so I might do something, but I'm not sure. But you don't. It's a win-win situation. You give it to me, and if I repair it, it's okay. So he gave the pedal to me, and I just opened the enclosure, and it was so obvious and so simple. It blew my mind. Some ICs were just
Mm.
actually fried with some, I don't know, it was some kind of weird crystals on it, just like a battery just leaked.
Some
It,
acid.
yeah, 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 yeah. It's
Yeah.
like that. So I went to my local electronic shop and said, I need this, and maybe this. I just grabbed the parts. It was like, I don't know. By then, it was cheaper than now for the parts, but it was like, less than €10.
Mm.
I didn't have to solder anything. It's just like bloop, bloop, better. better than that, I changed the parts, and it worked better than before, because before it, because it was a polyphase. Within the polyphase, there were some kind of auto quack, auto wah part
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't functioning, and now it was functioning. So it was repaired and better than before. So and it was by then I decided that it was maybe worth the try to just to just to carry on doing that, not repairing, but maybe designing also. And at some point, I just decided to, well, it was in 2012. I decided just to go with it, but full time.
Okay, that's really an interesting story, and actually, well, it was your first mod, you could say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very easy to do, but it was my
Yes.
first month.
Awesome. And now your company is actually famous for modding all kinds of pedals.
Yeah,
And
define famous.
well, I
Define.
I heard of A.I.B Customs because of your awesome mods.
Okay.
Well, basically, you make every pedal do the HM2 chainsaw sound. And how did you come up with this idea? Because this polyphase, I'm very sure you didn't make this chainsaw.
Well, if you feed the polyphase with like 220 volts directly, I'm sure it chainsaws, but like absolutely everything. But yeah, for the chainsaw mods and add-ons and maybe even pedals, actually it was purely pressure. uh, it was pressure from clients. Uh, Before that, I was uh, much more fuzz and distortion focused. And at some point, I don't know, the vibe, the complete hype for a chainsaw sounds and HM2 like pedals, for me is pretty recent. It's like maybe maximum 2 years.
Mm.
And of course, I knew the pedal before, but uh, it's not that I didn't bother do that. It's just that it wasn't my main clientele, so to speak. And at some point, people just started to ask if when will be the next pedal with a chainsaw sound. So I was like, HMDO is just like the OG, so there's not really any need for that. And at the same time, I think there was some kind of a price tag that was completely mental. It's like 200 for a pedal, 250, even 300 for
Yeah.
MIG pedals. What? What? No way. No
Yeah.
way. So at some point, I just started to throw parts together, and I don't know. At some point, it made sense. It made sense for me to build one, not a clone, but to build something that does the chainsaw sound. So yeah, and the reason was clientele pressure, let's say that, and also the craziness of the situation regarding the prices on Reverb, or it's like 200 for an old boss pedal. No, no.
Yeah. And yeah, this those HM2s going high up in price, it actually started pretty recently, because I do remember when Nightbearer hasn't started yet. I bought an made in Japan HM2, complete in box, and it's a special box, some 30th anniversary or so. and I bought it for 100 euros.
Yeah, yeah,
And then the made in Taiwan I bought for 100. So the Boss pedals, I bought them for 100 max, and then all of a sudden 200, 250, and for a Taiwanese version, and I thought, well, okay, why? and and then you automatically look into cheaper options, and well, basically there if people don't want to pay the price, there is automatically a market for it, and
yeah, yeah,
that's
absolutely.
where you came in. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, and thing is, I love the HM2 pedal, but I actually hate it at the same time because it's bad. It's bad and it's good at the same time. It's like no, no, I don't like that. You know the two two faces. It's like no, 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 no. I'd rather make my own with a straightforward use and idiot proof. No, I will try my own. Yeah,
Yeah. And let's stay a bit by the mods. I have a couple of your modded pedals,
yeah,
and I know that you're not offering all mods all the time. You did, for instance, I think you did a red mod, a Proco Red, and you did even an Boss XT2 extortion
yeah,
modification at some
yeah.
point. But what mods do you currently offer?
Right now,
Yeah.
I offer the Fenris mod for the MT2, uh, the Warg mod for HM3. I offer it's the executive mod for XT2 for the extortion pedal,
Yeah.
and I now it's discontinued, but I might do some more with modules for DS1, the modules,
Yeah. Okay.
chainsaw modules. Uh, uh, it's discontinued for one reason. It's just because the footprint the footprint of the circuit, because it's an add-on. You have to do it yourself. It's
Mm-hmm.
kind of it's sold as a kit, and if you don't have the iron, the solder, etc., you might bump into some difficulties. So it's already aimed at a particular clientele. So with the technical knowledge, and also the footprint is kind of too high for too big for my taste.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, just because my technique is still old school. It's like point to point. So there's no SMDs. It's just this. It's the same technology as in the 80s or 90s, which is good for that particular application, like the chainsaw.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have you have to intervene in a pedal that is not yours, you don't control everything, especially the footprint, because there's already knobs, there are already pots, circuits, and you have to make do with what you have.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's kind of difficult, and the footprint was too big for me, so I just discontinued. It works, but at some point I'd rather wait it out for now. And the day I switch to SMD parts, I will redo something else
Mm-hmm.
better, not in terms of sound, but better in terms of footprint.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds. And well, with this pedals that you already modded, is there any pedal you still want to mod? So to speak, a dream pedal you have yet to mod?
It's a it's a really tough question. because I'd rather not mod and create.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
That's it. Otherwise, if we talk just for modding something already existing, I would say the iMaster from TC Electronics. I have a mod. I modded mine, but I didn't organize to sell a mod or anything like that. Just because the iMaster is just it's bad. It does the chainsaw. It's really cheap and it's really sturdy. I like that. I like that.
yeah,
It's kind of big. The design is simplistic and but it's nice. But the electronics and the tracing, there there are issues with the tracing. The circuits itself has errors, so I have to to find ways to, in order to mod mine, I had to repair it at first. It's just okay. So if it's it's a rule of thumb. If it's cheap,
yeah.
there's a reason for that. So yeah. But if I had to choose one, I would say the iMaster because it's like very easy to improve it because it's really bad.
I,
It's really bad inside.
I will send you one.
Okay, go.
Um, so I can totally understand that you rather want to create some of your own designs. I think it's both. It's much more fun and
Yeah.
well, you could you can simply sell it better. I think. And you do have a lots of own designs, especially distortions and fuzzes, as you've mentioned earlier. So maybe choose one or two pedals of your own and tell us a bit about those.
Yeah. So it's uh, it's been just it's like 6 or 8, maybe 8 months ago. Uh, yeah, let's say 10 months ago. I really decided to switch from not to switch. It's not either or, but it's both. To implement in my line of pedals pedals that can be produced in series with a UV printed enclosure.
Hmm.
Before that, it was only one-off pedals with hand painted enclosures, and those are I love to do it. I love to do it, but it's so much work.
Yeah.
It's so much work. Uh, for example, just in order to paint one enclosure with a hand painted design and stuff, it takes at least, on average, 8 hours.
Mm.
8 hours. After that, you have to do the electronics. And because they are one-offs, there's so much variations and possibilities and all it's like, okay, I will do that, I will do that, I will do that. And after that, I won't do it again. And because I wanted to, it's really nice, but it's too much work to do. It's too much work to do it on a constant basis.
Yeah.
And because I wanted to have consistency uh, in production, in management of component stocks, also because otherwise you can't forecast any demand.
Yeah.
You can't stock up. You can't do that with one off. Yeah, it's always new because I wanted to stock up to manage more for example for the next 6 months. I decided to switch to implement uh, let's say a standard line in my already established line of wheels. So if I had to choose right now, if I had to choose one or two pedal of my own line, I would choose first the Ma or the Ma. I don't know. Actually, I actually don't really know how to pronounce it. So
Oh,
it's like, the, yeah,
French guy speaking to the German guy about English pronunciation.
yeah. Well,
More?
yeah, well, the Ma, first the Ma, and second the Droger or Droger. I don't know either. But yeah, uh, just because they are not readily available because I'm right now in the middle of the second batch, but they are sturdy, they are idiot proof, and the design is just suits almost everything so far.
Mm,
Every amp, every cab, every yeah guitar or bass, doesn't matter. It works. So yeah, I would say these two because
okay.
all the other ones they are so specific in a in a very specific way. One is I don't know. One is a very high gain distortion, but MOSFET based with a crossover distortion in it,
Hmm.
and it's just like very special, and it's really niche, so it's not for everyone. But those two, you can play them in the concert and in a gig. It doesn't matter what kind of gig or rehearsal. It doesn't matter. The other ones are they're not unique as oh it's so unique. They're just one of, and it's kind of a more studio use or
Yeah,
personal use with a part of collectible, you know. So yeah,
yeah, yeah.
those two are not collectible, but they are good.
Well, all your stuff is good for that matter, at
Yeah,
least
thank you, thank
the
you. Okay,
stuff I
I take
have.
it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
And since you mentioned the More and the Draugr,
Droge.
I try to pronounce it as German as possible.
Okay.
Um, both are distortions or fuzz style pedals, so
Yeah.
there is some gain staging involved.
Mhm.
And I, for instance, I really like my distortion pedals most of the time in front of a slightly driven amp.
Mhm.
And I really don't like this much distortion pedals in front of the clean amp. Um, what do you think, especially the Draugr should be the American way to pronounce it. How do you think is the best way to use it? So, clean amp, distorted, fully distorted amp, overdriven amp. What do you think?
Um, those two, I designed them with the purpose of working on any platform. It's actually really hard to do something that suits everything because
Yeah,
you must have trade-offs somewhere.
yeah.
So
Okay.
the Droger is like there's it's silicon based, but I select the transistor for the highest HFE, the highest power, if you want, the highest power. I also use germanium diodes, but not in a hard clipping way. So the and silicon diodes also. So everything mixes up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really technical, and it's really a matter of choice. At some point, you must make a choice and do it as there's the fewest trade-off you can, with the fewest trade-off you can. So for the Droger, uh, for my taste, it's the best with with a matamp or orange style amp because
Mm-hmm.
they are not super clean. The more you push them with the gain,
Yeah.
uh, they just crank up, but not that much. So you find that breakup point and you just push the preamp with the Draugr and you just use it as a boost. It's a fuzz, but because there's enough output from the pedal, so you use it as a boost, and after that you just it's just a matter of uh, of rumble. You know, it's kind of dark, but also very guttural.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and after that and it's kind of silent too, and there's some undertones, some crossover distortion undertones. So it's very there's an I don't know. I'm sure it's not the right English for that, but it's like enveloping. You know, the sound is just pushing you and pushing your gut, just
Yeah.
like
Okay.
yeah. That's what I went for with the Droger.
Okay.
So it's a kind of cranked amp for the Ma. It's either, but the primary the primary goal was to use it in front of a LED channel
Mm.
because it's the best for my taste too. But the best chainsaw sound is in front of a LED channel.
Yeah.
Not too much distorted, just like half, 50%, and you just use it at the boost too, and start.
Yeah. 100% agree.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
At that point, it's just common sense.
I hope.
Yeah.
um, so, do you actually own an Orange to test your designs, or what is your test setup?
No. No, no, no. My test setup is we, no one can own every amp. It's just far too expensive. I would really like to have an orange or a matte. I'd
Mm.
rather have a matte for just for the record, but I can't. I just
Mm.
can't. It's like 2,000 for a head. Yeah, no, no. I have a cat to feed, so, so I can't. uh, no, my rig. I had a Mesa Boogie rectifier for a long time. But I love that amp. I really love it. It's like one of my fave amp of all time. However, however, the the clean channel is really bad. It's really bad. And modifying the clean channel, you can, but if you modify that part, you modify also other parts
Ah, I see.
because
Yeah.
there are consequences to your actions further
Mm-hmm.
down the road. So you're kind of stuck with what you have. And as a clean sound, it's just it's okay. It's okay, kind of mediumy mushy, but
Mm-hmm.
it's okay. But as soon as you plug a fuzz, a distortion, or anything, and play it on the clean channel, it distorts right away. There's no room, no headroom,
Mm.
nothing. It's just, and it's just and it fuzzes, but fuzzes in a bad way, like it's just awful. So I just got rid of it, and I bought a Randall RD45 instead,
Mm-hmm.
smaller, 50 watt, and it's it's an it's okay. The distortion to the LED channel is just it's kind of dark and it lacks some whoosh, you know, it's like it's
Mm.
not really precise. But the clean channel is just perfect. You, I actually can't distort the clean channel so for my job, it's just awesome.
Yeah.
And but because in my domain you have to take into account that almost nobody, will have the same amp as you. So you need to get some other stuff.
Mm.
So I modded my render head to have a more modern voicing. So it's like having a kind of a more vintage one on one side, or you can switch to have to get a more modern voicing.
Yeah.
I bought some second-hand what are these PV Studio Pro 110 and some old PV amps like Musician 400 or Bass 400,
Mm-hmm.
which are really really good for Doom stuff, but only for Doom stuff. If you want to get that nasty gnarly tone for metal and death metal, you need something more modern. Not modern as in like an Angle or a Mesa, but something like at least like a Marshall GCM 800, at least,
Yeah.
or something like the not a 5150, but a 6505 or something like that. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So that was really in depth, and I think it's very important that you have a couple of options to at least approximate most of the buyer's setups. So that's why you modded your render. You have the clean option, you have the vintage option, and you have the modern option. So you can kind of develop a feel of how the pedal would sound with this particular setup and this, and that's how I
Yeah,
would do it as well. Yeah,
yeah. It's like finding an average.
yeah, yeah,
It's like
exactly.
finding an average. If your average is good, then you're in the confidence zone to promote one product or another. Or, it as soon as you have to experiment, that's the well. I won't say it's the right approach, but for
Mm,
me it works.
yeah, of course. Um, so let's step way back to HM2 sound.
Yeah.
And now, gear apart, what defines, in your opinion, a good chainsaw sound?
Yeah. That's a really tricky question.
Yes.
A good chainsaw sound. First, it's obviously it's the dual peak between 920 hertz and 1050 hertz, something like that. This is the minimum for the chainsaw sound. This is the minimum. Now, for the rest, it's really tricky because when you think about the HN2 and why it's so well known and so applicable to death metal, everything is based on a really bad design. So, so at some point you have you have to think for yourself and say, okay, so do I have to do the bad design over again, or do I have to do something else? And that's why it's a tricky question. And my best my best answer for that is the dual peak, not a single one, not far apart, just the right amount to be in the zone, the right zone for the peaks. Um, kind of a, a tiny, teeny less bass and a, a bit up the frequency scale, not at because in the HM2 it's centered at 90 hertz, I think.
And 995, yeah,
Yeah,
somewhere
and
like that.
it's just it's not bassy, it's just muddy.
Mm-hmm.
So if you scale back just a tad the dBs on the bass, but just slide them slightly up, like 100, maybe 100, 120. It's
Mm-hmm.
just it just works. It works very well. And plus the bass content is just omnidirectional, so you won't pick it up very much,
Mm-hmm.
except for the clarity of your of the guitar strokes. So it's just doesn't the bass doesn't they don't matter too much. It's really the peak and the 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 other part is just the the gain and the noise at the same time. The
Mm-hmm.
gain, well, not the gain, the saturation, the the grit, because an HM2 is really high gain. It's just insanely high gain, but it's done in such a way that you don't really feel it. It's really weird. So improve that with for more saturation, for more the stuff that make the palmute ring, you know,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of stuff, and the noise, because the more you have noise, the more you have feedback, the less dynamics you get,
Yeah.
because it's just a mush, and if you just stop playing, it's like it just comes right into your face, and you don't really hear you playing, especially with I don't know if it's the same way in English, but with a staccato, that kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
stuff. You just don't hear it because in between the strokes, you will hear like that kind of ring. It's well, just bad. So yeah, more saturation, less noise, and the dual peak in the right zone.
Yeah.
That's for me is what defines the perfect chainsaw sound.
Okay, and let's imagine you have this pedal that delivers exactly what you want, dual peak, bass shifted, less noise, and which amp, with which cabinet, and with which guitar would you combine it? So what is basically your dream chainsaw rig?
Yeah. How much money do I have?
Uh, all the money.
Okay. 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 So, uh, um, I would, I don't like mono setups, like one head, one cab, and one guitar. I don't have four arms, so it's enough. But if I had to choose, I would say um, a Gibson SG, but with a 25/5 scale. SG guitars are just so easy to play, and it's light. It just for me it's just perfect. But the scale is just too short.
Yeah, agree.
So if you want to downtune, it's like nightmare. actually go you can't go below C.
Mm.
Below C is just after that the intonation is just off. It's just awful. So first Gibson SG with a 25/5 scale. After that, I would say I'm not that uh, picky about it, but I would say two tube amps. First with a 6L6, the other with maybe KT88 or EL34. And on the 6L6, uh, maybe something like a PV 65, 6505 plus, something like that, because it's really high gain and really precise.
Mm-hmm.
And on the EL34 side, I would say something like something Marshall-esque, maybe a GCM 800 or a GCM 2000, maybe, because they're not really super gainy,
Mm.
but but because of that, they they let the HM2 sound uh, go through more. It's not as much compressed. So you have two rendering of the HM2 sound, and those two are complementing themselves. One is
Mm-hmm.
really compressed and kind of because of the 606 that they're really bassy and not boomy but bassy. The EL34 just go better with the mids and the upper mids. So
Mm-hmm.
just good. And with that, I would say two cabs. It doesn't matter, but something oversized, just for the resonance. And the most the, the most important stuff is not the cab itself, but the speakers in them. On the 6L6 side, I would say V30s and G12T75. I know. Everybody say that they are quite shit, but they
Mm.
are really not. They're really not. And V30s and G12, they are complementing each other very, very well. Uh, it's funny because G12, they have that kind of annoying dip in the mids, but it works very well with the chainsaw
Mm-hmm.
because it counter counteract the I don't know. It's like they soften a little the harshness of the chainsaw, and the V30s just enhance the high mid peak of the chainsaw.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, now we have like a very aggressive sound with a very compressed with this 6L6 sound, and also a very 80s sound. So it's like, okay, now we are talking. And on the other side, with the EL34 tubes, I would say something like classic LED 80 from Celestion,
Okay.
and I don't know, something like the Direwolf from Weber speakers, because they are very mid-focused also, but they are not really boomy. So the grittiness of the EL34 and the low mid and mid focused sound of the speakers just make it like just in your face sound. So it's like mellowed on one side, and it's like raw, very raw in your face on the other, and mixed together, it's just like it should be just awesome.
Yeah. So Uh, that's really interesting because you don't focus on a particular type of sound, but more or less you choose different tools to one for the high mids, and then you need something for mid cut, and then you need something for so each part of your signal chain, which by the way sounds awesome. um,
And
even
expensive.
on and expensive, but
Yeah.
even on paper, it sounds good on paper.
Yeah.
But each part is complementing the other part, so basically you're feeding all the frequencies, and I think that's the way to go. Actually,
Yeah.
just works better.
Actually, it's all about the average. It's really about the average. The goal is not to have a standard line of representation for the frequencies, but to enhance just where they are needed.
Yeah,
Permits like the really low lows, or some amps that don't really matter that much.
mm.
Well, they matter obviously, but not as much as the speakers. The
Yeah,
speakers are the most critical part of the rig, and they are also the most underestimated ones.
yeah,
It's
100%.
it's the end of the chain, the far end of the chain, and they are actually the voice. And that's what vibrates. So it's the most critical part of the chain, and they are kind of dismissed. Yeah, no, no, I have those speakers. Like, yeah, you sound like shit. So
I
yeah.
I have this Behringer cabinet here. It's cheap. So with this setup, we actually neglected one part, and I assumed that you have this HM2 pedal that has this two peaks and blah blah. But what is your most favorite HM2 style pedal? And your own don't count.
So if I had to choose one HM2 style pedal, I would, without hesitation, go with the original HM2. Doesn't matter if it's made in Japan or made in Taiwan. Yeah, I know there are purists that made in Japan is better, it sounds better,
Yeah,
it's like but the fact is the the tolerances within the parts are just it's just kind of it's not the same, but the tolerances make them as different within the made in Japan type ones, just as much as the made in Japan and made in Taiwan.
yeah, 100% agree.
So my best guess is that when you buy a pedal like 200 or 250 euros, you want it to be the best because you paid a lot of money for that. So, and if it works, it works. So it's just like, yeah. But if I had to choose, I would say the original HM2 for the main reason being the design. Once
Hmm.
again, it's a very, very weird design. And if I had to buy another brand that makes the same mistakes as the original, I'd rather buy the original because the other one are just copying a bad design.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's just,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
get it.
yeah.
Um, Speaking of bad design, follow-up question. You have this original HM2 and you can do one single modification. What would you do?
Yes. It's also a tricky question because the HM2 circuit is really good at one thing. If you don't use it for the chainsaw sound, it's like okay, there's better stuff than this,
Yeah.
and it's just meh, you know. But if you use it as a chainsaw, it's awesome, awesome. There's nothing compared to it. But but because there's always a but, if you look at the circuit, no one in his right mind would design a circuit like that. Just no. No. There's too much gain there. There's too much gain there. There's clipping there. It's clipping there, and it's like, and after that, it's like just not usable. For example, the gain control, it's just useless.
Yeah,
Either
true.
it's at zero, and you have gain, or it's at full, and you have a bit more gain, not much, a bit more. But all the place in between, all the settings in between, are just useless.
Yeah.
So if I had to make one modification with the original one, would be the gain knob.
Mm.
The gain knob, and the best, because I modded my HM2, but I modded it to keep the original feel, the original sound, but with more progressive gain knob. And to do that, you have to modify the Zikli arrangement in the circuit. The Zikli, it basically means that it's an arrangement between two transistors in front,
Okay.
and they are just, if you look at them only, not the rest of the circuit, but them only, it's just like they're designed to provide the most, the biggest amount of gain possible with transistors, and the rest is already distorted, so you can't go clean with that. You
Yeah.
can't. So just modify that zone, and it works. It works very well. After that, you have a trade-off. You have less overall distortion at max,
Mm.
but you have, which is not a problem when playing the HM2 in front of a OLED channel, so it's okay. But you can go from cleanish slight breakup to full gain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a clever modification because I thought to myself, well, when I use the HM2, as you said, either the gain is at 0 or my gain is at 9 o'clock
yeah,
and I don't go any further. So I just have this range from 0 to 9 o'clock. And if you basically decrease the gain, you increase the actual range. And
yeah.
that's really clever. Um, Final question to the perfect chainsaw sound. Have you heard it on anyone's record so far?
Yeah, but uh, thing is, I've I've listened to many albums with the chainsaw, and because it's all about the average, the most representative sound of the chainsaw for my taste, again, because I
Yeah,
don't speak for
sure.
everyone. The best chainsaw sound I've heard is from Entombed, obviously, but it's from Clandestine.
Interesting.
I actually don't really like the chainsaw sound from Left Hand. I but I love the chainsaw from Clandestine, especially with Blessed Be.
Okay.
So uh, uh, from that point on, the the ideal chainsaw sound is the first riff of Blessed Be from Entomb in their album Clandestine. It's just
Okay.
like Oh, it's just mind blowing.
Okay,
Uh,
I have to rehear this. I own both Left Hand Path and
yeah.
Clandestine, but I also read the Swedish death metal by Daniel Ekeroth,
Mhm.
and he actually said that his favorite sound of Entombed is from Nihilist. So the
Okay.
demos that recorded previously to rename them Entombed, and he said that Clandestine has a weaker sound than Left Hand Path, less bass, I think.
Yeah.
Uh, Actually, when I heard Clandestine, I thought the sound was different, yes, but I didn't find it any weaker. Now that you're saying a Blessed Be intro riff, I have to give it another listen for sure.
Actually, I think that the chainsaw sound, to judge a chainsaw sound um, for its quality on an album, not on the pedal, but on an album,
Yeah.
I think that not the secret, it's just stupid, but the detail that makes the difference is not the peak of the chainsaw, it's not really the bass, in my opinion, of course. It's not really the bass, but the upper mids.
Hmm.
Because if you let loose the upper mids, it's really raw, and it's not. And it's really difficult. Actually, it's actually really difficult to describe sounds. You sound stupid because it's like,
Yeah.
oh, there's a there, you know, but yeah, it's the upper mids because I really for the blessed, not Blessed Bieber, for Clandestine, what I like the most is just is more polished. You get what I mean? It's more
Yeah, yeah,
polished,
yeah.
so there's a bit less in the upper mid, so it's more the palm mutes just sound rounder
Yeah.
in general, and I really like that. You know, uh, that's why I'm not really a fan of thrash metal because it's all about the upper mids, but I really like death metal because it's more mellow in the upper mids. It's more
Mm.
palm mute focused.
Yeah.
It's like and this I love. This I love.
Okay. I definitely listen into Clandestine tomorrow. Definitely. Okay. Well, as for now, I think this is a good time to stop talking about music and let's change topic completely. Um, so you told me that you're into movies,
Yeah,
and I'm not so much into movies, but I do, of course, watch them. And what are your favorites? Maybe we have some in common.
yeah. For the favorites, it's like
What's your favorite child?
okay. So I let's say I have one movie that is the best ever, and I won't even touch it. It's The Lord of the Rings.
100% agreed.
Uh, it's not even it's just not even a matter of cinematography or editing or anything. It's just beyond that. It's more of a I read the books like a while ago, and it's just not the same with the films. I remember that when I finished the books, uh, it took me like an afternoon, an entire afternoon to get back to reality. Not because I was in it, but because the end and the efforts you made for I don't know, it's like 3,000 pages. I don't know.
Mm,
It's,
The
for the entire Lord of the Ring books, it's like
I no, I don't think it's this much.
no,
Um, one. Well, I don't have. I
Oh, yeah,
only have
yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
in
No, no,
German.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's like 1,500 or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So you read that, and after that, you read the epilogue, and it's just sad. It's just sad and just like filled with melancholia and just like, okay, what did just happen?
Yeah.
And you spend the entire afternoon to get back from that. But it was kind of at the same time it was the books are just kind of silly, because it's like they have hats with feathers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, it's like, well, okay, it was written in the 50s, so
Yeah.
okay, it makes sense. But when the films were out, it completely changed the base and respect it at the same time. There were no more silly stuff like the hats and the feathers and the high boots like pirates and you
Yeah.
know and it was, I don't know, it was really, I can't really express why it had that much of an impact on me. And it's funny because the first time I saw the Fellowship of the Rings in theater, I didn't like the film.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. It was like, okay, it's out. Okay, let's go. I was like, okay, okay, man, this is bad. I don't like it. I don't like it. And I went out, I got back from that, and I was like so disappointed, so disappointed. And I realized that I judged the film trying to catch the style of Peter Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And Peter Jackson, I knew him from Bad Taste or The
Okay.
Feebles, or
Okay.
and he has that. Um, he has some quirks like doing really close-ups, and so close that they are kind of they distort the face of the character,
Mm-hmm.
and it was so obvious in Bad Taste and Feebles and um, what is in your country, Brain Dead, or
Uh, maybe Sean. Sean.
yeah, but Brain Dead or something like that. And I was trying to catch those quirks, and it just ruined the film for me.
Okay.
And okay, so let's give him another chance. I went back to the theater, and I was like, no, the film is good. It is really good. And I was hooked, completely hooked.
Okay.
And yeah, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Mm.
I actually don't remember how I liked the movie when I watched it first. Because I was a teenager at the time and I haven't read the books, and it was
Yeah,
a
you're a baby. Yes,
yeah,
of course.
still I am. And no, it was the birthday of a good friend, and who went with us to the cinema. And the only thing that I remember is that I was making fun about the movie. Because one particular joke, Saruman's hairs, we referred to him as Chair, the singer,
Yeah, yeah.
because he looked like it. And well, I went out of the movie and said, well, okay, I guess.
Mm.
I didn't have any idea at all. And then I think a month or 2 months later, I bought the books and read them in total. And so my first read through of the books was with the film characters and their appearance in mind.
Exactly, exactly.
And
If you haven't seen the film and you read the book, it's like, okay, they look like very silly characters
yeah,
from the mind of a 60 years old in the 50s. it's really uh, dated, you know? It's really
Yeah,
dated.
yeah.
And it's just like you, just like you. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't have or I hadn't this images, and therefore I really liked the movies, the read through of the books, and then when the Two Towers came out, I basically was a fan.
Yeah,
Done.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
and then
the thing is, the casting, the casting is the main base for the fandom, I think, because
mm,
you can you could change any of the characters with someone else, and it wouldn't work. It
yeah,
wouldn't work at all. Especially with Aragorn, of course. Viggo Mortensen is just it's awesome.
yeah.
And I remember, because we are talking about films. Uh, I remember when I was in high school back in the last century.
1860s, yes.
Yeah, when I was in high school, I used to when I was alone, on Saturdays and stuff. I used to go to the video club and rent films on my own. The thing is, I rented. So one day I rented the Indian Runner
Mm-hmm.
with Viggo Mortensen. It's the last role for Charles Bronson in this.
Mm-hmm.
It's a film by Sean Penn. It was an independent film, and it just you know. Oh, plus, I was at the ripe age to understand the the tragedies unfolding in the film.
Yeah.
I was the right age with the right angst, I think, with the right angst, and the range of acting from Viggo Mortensen was like awesome. And from that day, I was not a fan because I'm not a fan of actors, but I really liked that guy.
Mm.
And it makes sense. And after that, when he was cast for Aragorn, like, okay, that's the role for him.
Yeah.
And it was just perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, true. What do you think about the Amazon Lord of the Rings series?
Okay.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, no. I, I won't watch it. I
No?
definitely won't. No.
Okay.
It's
I
just, it's not because it will be bad, but because the scandals and anger and endless I don't know. It's like it's already toxic even before it's out. So
yeah. Okay.
I'm seriously I'm just too old for that that kind of stuff. I can't. If it's like if you are just watching it and you must bear with loudmouth and no, just no,
Yeah.
just no.
I actually don't know yet. I really want to watch it, but I'm afraid that I will be constantly pissed. And
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
No, it's just uh, I I don't read about that, but I've read an article that was mentioning that the what was it exactly again? They bought the rights from Tolkien, and after that, after a while, they just did, yeah, fuck it, we do whatever we want, and now there's it's just awful. Uh, Mainly because not normally we are meant to witness the Battle of Gondolin.
yeah.
Okay, so the army of Morgoth is just with so many orcs, so many creatures, so many balrogs, dragons, and stuff, and it will be like just no, no. I will no. I don't think I will. I will watch it because every time I will see a character on screen, I will automatically think of the backlash that happened just before. Like, oh no, 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 I don't want to. I don't want to be part of it. No, it's not for me. It's not for
Okay.
me.
Okay, fair enough. So speaking about series, you do watch series, I think. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
okay, what? So favorite movie, Lord of the Rings. We
yeah.
100% agree on this. What's your favorite series?
Of all time,
Yes.
I would say Supernatural.
Okay, interesting. I have
Uh,
to admit I haven't watched it.
yeah, you should. You should. Uh,
Obviously.
no, just because first, it's because it's good. Second, it's because the audience was my age.
Mm-hmm.
The real audience for the show was the ones who grew up in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So all the cultural anecdotes and Easter eggs in it are they're just accessible for us, the Generation X guys,
Yeah.
or those who grew up in the 80s. So it's good. There's almost everything I like uh, in a popular way, as in uh, like traditional creatures, folklore, like werewolves, vampires, and
Mm.
ghosts, and poltergeists, and stuff like that. Uh, there's an American muscle car. Uh, it's just, I'm a sucker for V8s.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, and the music is good. The music is really good. There's Alice in Chains in that. There's what's his name again? There's Boston. Actually, I like Boston. It's really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there's also I forgot the name of the guy. He was in the Eagles. The album is Barnstorm. The stuff is just amazing. The bass sound is just not. Anyway, it's the music. The soundtrack is just awesome, and the writing was also good because it wasn't light-hearted, as in optimistic, because most of the time it was kind of sad,
Mm-hmm.
but the it was funded on folklore, but it also created a lore by itself up until the fourth season, I think. The first season is just, yeah, okay, it's just a regular horror, some kind of horror show,
Yeah.
but second, third, and fourth season, it's really good. It's really good, and it's really American in the sense of exploring, or also exploring the history of the U.S.
Ah, okay. Interesting. Yeah.
So just for example, there's a story, like it's made up, of course, but there's a story about hunters who hunt creatures like werewolves and stuff, and demons, and Colt, the gun designer,
Mm-hmm.
was a hunter. It's like retrofitting some stuff,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
it
Okay.
makes
Yeah.
sense. And Colt was a hunter, and he created the Colt, to kill any kind of creature. And it echoes the fact that the saying that God didn't make uh, what's the saying? God didn't make humans equal. It's Mr. Cold, you know.
Okay.
And after that, it makes sense, and it's just really good, really
Okay. So okay, when you say it's good, I trust your opinion. I do. To conclude this, I think the best television series is Breaking Bad.
good. And I
Um,
actually haven't watched it.
you
I
should.
haven't, not even once,
You
not
should.
even. I know. I feel bad about that. I
It's
know.
just let me point out three things. First of all, I think the writing is good throughout all the seasons.
Yeah.
Some say there is a weak season. I don't think this.
Mm.
It's top notch every season, every single episode. Second, the camera work. It's outstanding. It's one of the best camera work, and it's actually the first series where I've actually looked for camera work. I realized how it can make a difference.
Mm.
And a third, Bryan Cranston is
Yeah, yeah.
one of the best actors all time. After watching this, first of all, I thought, okay, the dad from Malcolm in the Middle
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
some serious stuff. No,
It's
but
actually a reason why I haven't watched it, because of Malcolm in the Middle. I really don't like that. I really don't like the series.
okay,
It's just I mean, I get it. I get that it's funny, but it's just not funny for me.
okay,
And it's like, no, it's really a big leap for me to go from Malcolm in the Middle and Breaking Bad. So I tend to not trust Bryan Cranston. But the fact is, now it's okay, because I've seen him in many other stuff, and he's
hmm
when he tries when he tries to be uh, impressive or scary. Oh man, oh man, this guy is a monster.
is actually
Yeah,
most of the time I don't watch German series and German television this much because I always think the actors are overacting.
yeah,
And I have this not so much with English series. And Breaking Bad, I watched an original, so not with German. And Bryan Cranston, or the whole cast for that matter, those it was the only series where I believed what the characters did and how they behaved.
yeah,
It just made sense.
yeah,
I was never into, okay, now they're acting or now they're doing this because the storyline has to go in this way. It wasn't the case. Would always, yeah, I get this. Yes.
yeah. That's one
Yes.
of my pet peeves, actually. It's when a series go on and go on and goes on, but it should have ended like 4 seasons ago,
Yeah.
and they just make up as they do. They make up the story as they do. It's just bad. It's just bad. After some time, you just no. It's already dead. Just kill it.
Yeah. Was with Heroes. Do you remember Heroes, the series?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
First season awesome. Second season was killed by I think the writers. How's the
the,
English word? They didn't write anymore.
yeah. The
Um,
writer strike.
Strike. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mm,
Okay. And was after that was killed. They should have ended it after the
yeah,
second season, but it was 5 seasons or 4. I
yeah.
don't know. And
Many like almost all the time when a series goes on far longer than it should, it's always tainted with what I call the Beverly Hills syndrome. It's like Beverly
okay.
Hills 90 or
Uh,
something,
yeah, I
you know,
haven't watched the series.
like Melrose Place, and
Yeah. Yeah.
after a while, it's not about the tragedy or the plot. It's about the love interests, and
Yeah.
the mystery that unravels like that. Oh yeah. Oh, so you're not a human. It's just stupid. It's just stupid. It doesn't make sense. And after that, you just you leave.
Yeah. True. So lots in common regarding films and series. Actually, I didn't think this would happen. Next topic: games. I spotted a controller behind you.
No,
No, I didn't.
no, no.
No. Okay. So, what games are you currently playing?
Yeah, right now I'd like to play Sticks. It's like an infiltration game, but with a heroic fantasy setting. You are a
Okay.
goblin. You are a goblin, a filthy
Oh,
goblin. You're small and stuff, and you must assassinate elves and stuff. It's quite hard. It's really interesting. I like the setting because it's more like Dungeons and Dragons, and
mm,
you know. But I can't motivate myself enough to actually play it. Not because it's bad, but because I'm kind of preoccupied by other stuff.
yeah, yeah.
So, it's like yeah. But if I had to say what do I play now, it's Sticks. Yeah.
Okay. I know the game, but I don't have it. I have to look it up. I think is this the game where it's there's a version for the Switch that is highly bugged?
I don't
Do-
know. I don't.
Have
I didn't know the game before I bought it.
okay.
So I can't say that it's the same one. Yeah.
Okay, I for our views, I leave it down here if it's the game or not. I will tell you in a minute.
Yeah.
Um, the six is for PS4, I think.
PS
PS,
PS3, PS4,
PS3. Ah, okay,
and
okay,
4, both. Yeah.
okay, okay. So are you into old consoles as well?
Not really old. Not really. I have a PS1, but I don't play it because there's not much to do with it. Just about the controls. It's
No,
really
yeah,
hard. It's really clunky, but it's nice. It's a nice item, a vintage item.
yeah, okay.
But yeah, PS3 and PS4. No,
Oh,
not
okay.
not PC, not PC. My PC is just for not music, but for business.
Yeah, yeah. I I could game with my PC, and I have a couple of PC games, but as of this today, I find myself on the couch and playing consoles. It's just way more convenient,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
yeah,
exactly. You don't have to wrap too much hardware. You have your pad, and it's just like it's
yeah,
all right. It's all right.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
And before you told me your favorite genre of games are RPGs.
Yeah, RPG,
And
action RPGs games.
RPGs,
Yeah.
and it's mine as well. So I have to ask the most important question of this interview today. Um, what is your favorite RPG of all time? And just be aware, there is only
The
one
only
correct
one.
answer.
Yeah, yeah. So, uh, yeah, I have. I I already know that I will disappoint you. So,
Most probably.
yeah.
But
So,
no pressure, no pressure.
yeah. No, the fact is, I don't judge. I have two separate scales for in order to judge a game.
Okay?
The first is, wow, it's good. I am having so much fun. And the other one is, it made a real impact on me that lasts, you know?
Okay, fair enough. You can name two. So
So, uh, the game that made the most impact on me, despite the game itself, is Darksiders 2. Yeah. Darksiders 2. Why? Because of the period when I used to play it. It was awesome. It was a very happy moment, year and stuff. And the other one is because the graphic designs and the art in the game are the coloring, etc., etc., is very close to my own style of drawing. If I could say that I have a style,
Yeah, okay.
so it's really close. And uh, every time I draw something, or I try to draw something, I tend to do things like Joe Madureira,
Yeah.
and it's just, for me it makes sense. So Darksiders 2 is, it's because the game is good. The game is good. It's not really hard. It's really, it's not easy, but it's, it's like a, a comfy time.
Yeah.
The period was really nice, and the art is really close to mine. If I have the style. Okay, so yeah, this one.
Okay, that was wrong.
Otherwise, of course. And the other one is The Witcher 3.
Sorry.
Yeah, I know, I know. The Witcher 3. I actually, yeah, I would say The Witcher 3 because I have to choose one.
Mm.
But if I had to choose a few more, it would be Bloodborne, Dark
Mm-hmm.
Souls 3, and Witcher 3, of course. And Skyrim is okay. Skyrim is okay. It's just too Morrowindy, just too much of the same.
Okay.
Morrowind was nice. Oblivion, but Skyrim was better. But it's just kind of the same. Yeah, you are the chosen one. You must stop. No, yeah. And otherwise, it was Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, that was quite
And
good, yes.
yeah, and it's it's easier, than way more easier. It's way starting again. It's easier than Bloodborne, of course,
Mm.
easier than Dark Souls 3, but the landscape, it's all about, in Horizon Zero Dawn. It's all about the landscape,
Yeah,
the
true.
colors. It's just I love the outdoor, so yeah, for me it's really worth putting. Yeah.
Okay.
And The Witcher 3, it's also the same reason. I love how the cities, the town, the kind of decrepit lands also, it's the bugs and stuff. It's just and the Polish lore is just awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay.
Which
So
which one is yours?
when we talk about impact
Yeah,
and most fun, I actually have to, with most fun, I have to name more. I'm not sure if you know them. So the biggest impact on me was Chrono Trigger for the Super Nintendo.
I know the name, but I never played it.
Okay, you should. It's an obviously it's
Yeah.
an old 16-bit JRPG,
Okay.
and it has turn-based battle. And I actually played it on the PC because it was never released in
Yeah.
Europe up until 2006 or so. And I upon this time I didn't know that I was playing an RPG. I just said, yeah, RPGs, no, not into it. But Chrono Trigger was so well made, the fighting, the story especially,
Yeah.
the graphics, really awesome pixel art. I'm into pixel art, and just made a huge impact. And after that, I was basically an JRPG fan and RPGs in general. And therefore, the RPG that I have the most fun with was Xenoblade Chronicles. It's for Nintendo Wii, and it's
Yeah.
now re-released for Nintendo Switch. It's just both the first and the second are 100 plus hours of gameplay and have
Uh-huh.
100 plus hours on story, and they take a time, so you have to spend 10 hours or so, and then the story starts and you
Yeah, yeah. Just
want to play. And then there I remember Xenoblade Chronicles 1. I actually thought I beat it because there was like a 30 minutes cutscene, and I thought, whoa, okay, angels falling from the sky and final battle, and I thought, whoa, okay, what's going on? And then I had 30 hours more, and awesome. And the fighting was the battles, they were so well done, especially this turn based.
yeah, yeah.
You know, it's just had this strategic point that I really like.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
for the same reasons, but more or less for graphical reasons and battle mechanics reasons, it's Octopath Traveler, again for Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
So, best. If I had to choose from PS3, PS4,
It's not easy.
it
It's
isn't.
really not easy.
It isn't.
Yeah.
Especially for a particular console.
Yeah.
So, PS3. I think if open world counts, and you said Horizon Zero Dawn, I will say for PS3 it's Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, okay.
And this one I had the most fun with. However, Red Dead Redemption 2 I didn't enjoy this much. Um, I think it it seems odd, but it was too realistic for me.
Okay. Yeah.
When you have to take care of your horses, and I thought, well, okay, I just want to play a game, and I don't want to clean my horse.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
uh,
That's true. That's true. I like a game when when you are playing RPGs, the management portion of the game is obviously a
yeah,
big portion of the game, and it's enjoyable as long as you are focusing those managements on the plot. If you are well, for me, of course, because if you have to, it's like if you have to feed, if you have to manage the horse, or you know, trivial stuff like that. After a while, it's more like the Tamagotchis, or
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know, it's not that much of a you don't enjoy the game that much. But if you are if it gets tough, even if it gets tough in the game with management, but it's focused on the plot, it's really good. There's uh, kind of like Red Dead Redemption. Well, not like, but it's kind of the same style of game. If you look at The Last of Us,
Yeah, awesome.
that game's just I enjoyed playing the game, and I even enjoy watching reactions and walkthrough of the game. It's just so good.
Yeah,
This and um, ah, I forgot the name.
the Uncharted maybe.
Yeah, yeah, the fourth, Uncharted 4.
Yes,
It's like,
I
oh,
I played them in a chronological order. Actually, I played the first one, was okay. I played the second one, blown away.
yeah,
Then the third one was good, okay, okay, and then the fourth one. And normally I take my time with games. I don't play more than 2 hours or so. Only if a game really grabs me. And with Uncharted, 7, 8 hours, one sitting,
yeah, yeah.
and it
Yeah.
was so good.
It's funny because I I could saw a pattern merging in my behavior actually, playing the games, especially with The Last of Us, the Uncharted 4, and what was it, the other one? There's the not the add-on, but the following of Uncharted 4 with
Yes, the Lost Legacy.
yeah,
Yeah.
this one too. Awesome games. And I feel even with The Witcher 3, it's funny because it's kind of it's not a hard game, but in the game, it in the they are all outdoors and they are all
Mm.
in kind of wild nature settings.
Yeah,
And
true.
and it's funny because I feel at my most comfortable in those games. It's a weird feeling. It doesn't matter if the if the society in the game or the plot in the if the society has crumbled, as long as I can walk through woods, greenery, leaves, and I feel perfectly okay with it.
Yeah.
It's just stupid. It's stupid. I don't know. I feel comfortable, but it's like they are hunter, they are marauders, and they want to kill you. That's okay. There's leaves.
Okay. You might want to check out though. You might have to invest into a Nintendo Switch because Breath of the Wild, The Legend of Zelda,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. But and have you tried Phoenix?
I have it, but I haven't tried it.
Well, it's a good game. It's a
Okay.
good game. Uh, I bought it like 1 year ago, and the fact is, the settings in the game. Basically, it's a Breath of the Wild copy.
Yeah,
Basically,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
just the same. You have to leave stuff with the same, with the same powers and stuff.
yeah.
But
Okay.
but uh, because it's set in a kind of a ancient Greece setting, just awesome. It's really exotic
Hmm.
and familiar at the same time. It's really good, and the humor in the game is really good. It's really good.
Okay, that's good. So I think this is currently I'm gaming Death Stranding. I don't know if you've played
Yeah,
this.
no, no, I
Um,
haven't.
okay, I still not. We haven't connected yet,
Yeah,
but I'm sure it will come. And but after that, I will try Phoenix for sure.
yeah. Phoenix
Um,
is really a no-brainer for that, and it's not there. There's no, it's really easy. You get on the couch, play, and it's funny, and sometimes there's puzzles and stuff. And if you want to stop, you just stop, and it's really fun time. If you, it's not like a Dark Souls game or where you must invest yourself, and
yeah,
con-
yeah,
and control your anger because rage quit and stuff. No, no.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's come to the last chapter of this interview.
Okay.
Um, no digital stuff, no technical stuff, just pure manpower. Uh, because you told me you work out,
Yeah.
and how and why has it started? Because I do work out as well, and I've started for health reasons actually, because I had some problems with my wrists, and the doctor said, well, maybe you should start work out. And then I started and have no problems so far. So, how was it with you?
Yeah. Well, I I've always been kind of working out.
Mm,
Always. being not a sports guy, but I always like to be out
Mm.
running or do stuff on my own. It's me, just me. But and I'm kind of not an oddball, but I'm 1 meter 83 or a
Mm-hmm.
6 foot or 6 feet for
I don't
know.
use funny
Yeah,
measurements.
yeah. But I've always been kind of not frail but slender,
Mm-hmm.
and well, it was like a while ago, last century, and uh, I used to live in a kind of a major city in France, and I was always being picked on,
Mm, okay.
annoyed in the street and stuff. And at some point, I just entered the gym, took a subscription, and the trainer there just looked at me. Yeah, no, no, just get 5 more kilos, and it will be over. So I just okay, I will give it a try, and actually, it worked. I was
Okay.
I was too light. Yeah, I
Okay.
was too light. I was young, and I was kind of too light. I got 5 kilos, and after that, 10 more kilos, and it was fine. It was fine.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
the thing is, if I do that now, it's not about. I really don't care about being lean or being big or being.
Mm.
It's really not about that. It's just that you know. First, I will turn 45 in next month, and I'm getting fucking old. Now I'm at that age when I get up in the morning, I'm like, oh, you have back pain, body aches and stuff, and you can't function properly if you don't have like at least 1 liter of coffee in each arm. You don't. You don't. It's life. It's like that.
Yeah.
So I need to do something, and because I'm getting old, people around me are getting even older, and now I'm at that age where I will have to be able to do physical stuff, you know,
Yeah.
to compensate for other ones who we won't be able to do physical stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So with me, it's really mostly for health issues because I currently I consider myself healthy,
Good.
and I want to be healthy when I'm as old as you are.
Yeah, I won't forget it. Okay.
which takes me a long time
Yeah,
now.
of course, you're big.
Yes, of course. Um, no, no, I want to be healthy when I'm 50, when I'm 60, when I'm
Yeah,
70, and I think working out is the might not be the easiest way, but it's the most efficient way
yeah,
to
it's the most
make
efficient. Yeah,
sure of it. Huh?
yeah, it's good for your muscle, your bone
Yeah,
structure, the physical integrity and stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
You're right on that. You're right, completely.
yeah,
Yeah.
of course. So, last question because I'm interested. So when you work out, what's your current routine? So how do you work out?
So I don't work out in the gym now because we just we are still in the COVID emergency,
Oh,
and it's
okay.
just awful. So to manage a kind of good training, I just train at home with body weight and things like that.
Okay.
I have some stuff to make it easy. I have some dumbbells and stuff like that, but not much. And basically, I have one goal. The goal is to push, to be able to push 100 kilos, to be able to pull 100 kilos, to lift 100 kilos, and to run 10 kilometers.
Okay.
It's really simple. It's really basic, but it's effective because whatever you do, it's in reach, but it's not. It's
Unrealistic.
yeah, it's realistic. It's
Yeah,
realistic,
yeah.
and I'm kind of already there. I'm
Mm.
kind of already there because I weigh. I actually I don't know. I think I weigh like 85
Mm-hmm.
kilos, and when lifting, it's like deadlifting. It's like 90. I think it was 92 kilos. So it's kind of it's enough.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
enough
Yeah.
because it's my weight plus the bar and the weight. So it's enough. But it's really hard because I am 45, because I'm fucking old. And it's hard because I have only half of a disc in my lower spine. So
Okay.
in L1, it's like half a disc. Okay, cool. And but otherwise, it's you just pull stuff, you just push stuff, you just do some push-ups,
Yeah.
and you try to make it hard. It's like body weight, and I don't eat. I don't eat protein
Mm.
shakes or anything because after a moment, after a while, if you try to just bulk up and look good, it's you're just a subject of maintenance. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's
Yeah.
like every 2 hours you drink, you eat, it's just not manageable. You have a life, just eat enough food, and that's it. And that's it. Plus, it's just so expensive too. I did it like 20 years ago. Yes, yeah, I did it. I bought protein shakes and stuff like 20 years ago, and yeah, it's fine. It's fine. You have you have plenty of food. You have plenty of you recover faster. Yeah, that's right. That's true. But it's so expensive. And after like you do that for 2 weeks, and after a while you just can't be bothered because every 2 hours or every 3 hours to have
Yeah.
a shake's like, oh man, no, you know what? No. So no, it's just uh, be practical, be realistic, and just do stuff. You do stuff. So for the routine I've got is every 4 days. Every 4 days, I have I train with basically several methods for push-ups,
Mm-hmm.
like regular push-ups or overhead push-ups. Not me actually pushing up over my head, but with weights,
Yeah, yeah.
um, and putting like pull-ups and rowing, things you can do without any gear in a gym.
Yeah.
And for the deadlifting, it's just the same. But the same day, what I do is that I deadlift, and after that I run,
Yeah, okay.
and that's it. Every 3 days. One day it's like upper body. I wait one day, nothing. The other day it's like lower body,
Yeah.
nothing. Upper body, nothing, etc.
Yeah. So
It, give,
sounds.
it Yeah, it's just realistic. It's not long. It's like I don't know. I try to train, but not overtrain. I train like for maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes
Mm-hmm.
tops, because if you are completely tired, you don't recover well.
Yeah,
So,
true.
well, basically, I train, and after my training, I feel good. I don't feel tired. I just feel good, and
Yeah.
and that's the best moment to stop, because after that, if you are tired, you are just tired. You will ache the other day, and it won't be. You won't recover well. You have to wait another day or maybe a couple days to recover fully, and yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and
it's
it's not practical, as you said.
no,
You
no,
want to have
it's
it
not.
practical, and it's not
Yeah, it's not.
practical when you have one good day and one bad day.
Yeah,
Yeah, true.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Uh, Jerome, I think this is a good time to stop the interview.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Was
You're welcome.
really in depth, and I hope we'll do another interview in the near
Sure.
future.
Sure. Anytime. Anytime.
Awesome.
So, do French guys can speak English?
They sure can.
Okay. Okay.
Let me tell you, I didn't expect this interview to be this well. He was such a kind, friendly, and funny guy. And we talked obviously before we did this interview, and he was afraid his English wasn't good enough. And well, it was perfect. He gave so long and detailed answers to all my questions. Was really a pleasure just listening to him. But one thing though, Darksiders 2, I mean, ah, well, well, we just keep silence. So if you want to buy any of Jerome's products, I'll leave a link to his shop down in the description, and just make sure to greet him from me. And would be cool if you leave me a comment down below in the comment section how you liked this interview and what do you think about Jerome and his company. And maybe you want to see other guests? Just let me know. And if you want to support this channel, check out the links in the description. And with this said, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. May the force be with you, and have a nice day.